JustMusic at the booth of Soundmachines. Next to me is Davide. Hello, Davide.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, and how are you?
Very good, very good. Yeah.
Davide, I can see new stuff.
Yes.
Please tell us a little bit more about it.
Yeah, sure. If you remember, last year we presented just the PCB of this one.
Yeah.
This was a dead thing and it was not working at all. Now we are currently under the Kickstarter campaign for this. After 6 days we raised the 80% of the target, so it's going pretty well.
Sounds good, yeah.
And we have a functional prototype at the Superbooth this year. It is like 75% ready,
Okay.
And the shipment of this is supposed to be for the backers of the Kickstarter in late July. So we are almost we are near the final target.
Very close,
Okay,
yeah.
this will be available with a street price of $8.99. That is exactly the same price as the modular 114. That today we present in a black dress, okay?
Oh yeah.
Otherwise, it's exactly the same
White,
machine. Yeah, exactly. Basically, Arches is we call it a universal tactile interface because we put many of our proven technologies like the light strips, the light pads, and all the connectivity stuff that we do normally on other modules inside a single unit with either CV, MIDI, and it will be also compatible with the wireless MIDI. So you can control with this also some soft synths that are running on your iPad, for example, or on Max MSP on your PC. So it's not only for modular. But as you can see, it was made for the modular environment because you have a 32 CV output that are a lot, so you can control many stuff. So you have also the possibility to define virtual keyboards, and for example, in this case, I just used those 6 string strips here to define some notes. The notes are easily modifiable by looking at the display, and when you save your configuration, you will have some kind of preset, and so you can navigate quickly with those 2 buttons here. So you have a navigation button through the presets. You can, as I saw, define several keyboards, each one with its own set of outputs. As you can see here, we have 2 keyboards with gate, pitch, and expression. That is, in this case, just a VCA that raises and lowers the volume of the sound. And you can, for example, define a single element here by assigning a gate and pitch output on the patch bay. Everything is completely open, and apart single elements and keyboards, you can have also 8-step sequencer, 8-step trigger sequence, 8-step CV sequencer, and 8-step 5-track trigger sequencer. So you can also do some rhythmic stuff on this. Obviously, it will be completely interconnectable with other stuff because it will have it has a clock input, obviously a clock output, but also can get MIDI clock through the various channels. So it can be synchronized to your setup pretty easily. You have a minimal user interface. It's very easy to set up the values of the buttons. In this case, we have this 8 pressure-sensitive button keyboards. You can define. You have a button for the trigger type, the trigger output, and the trigger voltage. The note that we will output is just a note, MIDI notation. Then you have where it is available, the auxiliary function or the keyboard function. It could be belonging to one keyboard or be a free element, or a free element with a quantization. So you can output directly with one of those a quantized output with CV. So you can play, for example, one single machine with just one strip, with gate and pitch, with a scale, a predefined scale that you can choose among the classical scales. This is one of the news. This is the biggest product on which we were working on. As you know, we worked very hard also on the IK multimedia.
At the UNO-Synths, yeah?
Yeah. And so this was a little bit push forward regarding the development. Another thing that we made for the Superbooth this year is the DS1 Drum Station. It is a self-contained with its own enclosure, metal enclosure and power supply. It's a 42 HP single module with 4 of our light strips, one DC1 drum computer, that is our trigger sequencer with the CV inputs, obviously, and then the small SD1 simple drum that has 6 drum sounds that you can choose among 80, more or less, 70 or 80 drum sounds. So the fact is to give someone the possibility to have a drum machine completely modular without having the problem of buying the case, the power supply, the cables, blah blah blah.
And everything else.
Yeah, it's already mounted. You just work with your patch cables and you create your setup. The nice thing is that obviously being completely modular, there are no internal communication. You can also embed this easily in another setup or enrich this with other drum modules, etc.
Okay.
Yeah, this is just an example of the CV that is in this moment changing the hi-hat. I can do rolls on the hi-hat with another one, so I can do the animation of this. And so it's an interesting piece of equipment because in a single object you can have several possibilities. And this will be available from next month, I guess.
What's about the pricing, roundabout?
This will be $850 final pricing. This is now on Kickstarter at $750, and the final price will be the same as the modular, so $899. When the Kickstarter will finish and the second batch will be at $899 final customer, tax included.
You said you reached almost 80%?
80%. We hope that during the next 2 days of Superbooth we surpass the target, and so we are 20 days more. So I'm not afraid about that. So it will be on the market very soon. And it's a very anticipated object because everyone likes the concept of being really open and really it's like a pure matter that you have to manipulate to do whatever you want to do with your performance.
Nice one, the Arches and the DS1 Drum Station. You're very busy, Davide. Also,
we've been very busy.
Yeah.
And we will be very busy in the next months.
I think so.
Yeah.
Also with the fusion of IK multimedia and sound machines. The UNO-Synth.
We worked a lot on the UNO-Synth electronic design, electronic and firmware design. It has been a very demanding project because the specifications were really high and the target price were really low.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And in the end, IK had the possibility to make it real. Okay.
Cool. Davide, I say thank you.
Okay.
That was Soundmachines, JustMusic, Superbooth 2018.